That fresh produce stand there, that's a beauty.
What do you listen to?
My favorite murder podcast.
Taggart and Torrance podcast.
The produce stand.
Fucking sexy.
It's Thirsty Thursday, and that means we are once again hanging out at the Produce Stand, a podcast covering everything in the universe and adjacent. Now, I know what you're thinking. There are many other Letterkenny podcasts out there, but this one is a company man, as is evidenced by my t-shirt. I'm Al, your host, and joining me in the room, as always, is lovely Tanya. And online, we have Squirrely Matt and the very nice Victor. How are you guys doing tonight?
Nice,
Good.
Good, and you?
Bringing the energy.
Yes, well,
Hey, bud.
well, with a theme song like that now, I feel like I have to bring the energy
That's a
up.
great shout out to Gerald with the guitar.
Yes,
riff
Gerald
on that
Fratzel on the guitar, and
Hot.
Travis Watts on the drums, and Steve Honey Brown on the bass. And
Honey Brown.
Honey Brown. Anyway, guys, let's get going. It's great to see you all and have Matt back here.
How are you now?
Tonight's lineup will be Matt, Tanya, Victor, and myself. So, Matt, let's start with you.
Sorry about last week. I fucked that one up.
My God.
I got my days mixed up and wasn't able to make it. I do apologize. I haven't even had a chance to listen back, but I heard it was great. And I had every intention to bias on being here to celebrate the launch of your book. But I do apologize. I thought we were recording Thursday as always, but we went away for the weekend. So I was.
You're getting the
up
blue
north in
spatula from
Collingwood.
Victor.
I know. I deserve it this time. I'm not going to fight
Hey,
it.
you have joined us from Collingwood in the past in your car.
Yeah, I was drunk.
Even better. Even better.
Yeah,
Drunk,
like
Matt.
really drunk. We got into it pretty quick. On
We
Friday.
have met that Matt. Remember, we went to, I think it was your 40th birthday
He
party?
does not remember now.
I do not remember that. I heard it was a time though.
It was quite
I
the
have
time.
photos.
I'm still afraid to return to that bowling alley. But no, aside from that, it's been busy, man. So the one big thing that it's not big, it just sucked. That I guess I didn't update you guys on was the weekend before my son had an accident.
Oh.
I didn't talk about this, did I? I couldn't
No.
remember the timeline here. He's fine, my 6-year-old, but we had a bit of a scary moment on the Sunday prior to, and we were all in the backyard. I think we were watching the Jays game. We've been taking the TV into the backyard to watch Jays games lately. It's been kind of fun. And all of a sudden, at a corner of my eye, I see something fall, and then I hear this one of the most heart-wrenching screams
Oh
I've
my
ever
God.
heard. And my son, who's 6, was playing on his little playhouse in the backyard, and he was leaning off the side and lost his grip and fell and landed face first on a cinder block.
Oh my
Oh,
God.
Matt.
Yeah. And it was there because it's kind of holding part of our gate together, but I was using the gate at the time. Like we're doing some digging around the pool that we were getting ready again for the summer. So just bad timing, a bad situation, face first. And oh my God, the sound that came out of this kid was just heart-wrenching, and that's why I led with he's okay. But we took him to the hospital. It was a bloody mess. He was just, in the end, it was just a giant cut fat lip. It could have been a hell of a lot worse. His brother, my older son Riley, was right beside him when it happened. He's like, honestly, I thought he died when he hit the ground. Like he hit it. He's like, I watched it and how he hit. He's like, I'm amazed he didn't break his jaw, break his nose. Like we thought his nose was broken. Like it was just a hot mess. But what was kind of in all that, what was kind of an interesting dad moment and kind of a sweet brotherly bonding thing was how everyone came together so quickly. Like everyone kind of went really calm. Jen was catering to Caden, try to keep him calm. I'm packing the backpack because they got to go to the hospital. As I'm going through the house, I'm passing my other 2 guys. I'm like, oh, where are you going? They're like, oh, Jenny asked me to get this. Like, we're all have assigned tasks in seconds.
Yeah.
It's go time.
And yeah, it's like it's go time.
Yeah.
And then my middle guy of all, I did say, I'm like, does anyone want to go with him? Because like you don't have to. This could be hours that he's in the hospital. And my middle guy Reese was like, no, I'll go. And we're like, okay. And then even on the drive there, we got there. I'm like, Reese, like I get it, man. You love your brother. You don't have like you literally could be here for the rest of the day if you want. And he looks at me straight in the eyes like, no, I want to be here. I'm like, okay. And it was really sweet because he just wanted to be there for his brother.
Yeah.
And they ended up being in and out in like 2 hours, which was fantastic for a hospital time in Toronto.
Awesome. Yeah.
But yeah, it was a scary moment. Thankfully he bounced back pretty quick, a couple days of just staying quiet and eating soft foods, and he was back.
Did he lose any teeth?
No, we still got to follow up with the dentist just to double check. But the ER doctor took a look and he's like, I don't see anything. Everything looks okay. But they said as well, like once it's healed up, you might want to get them checked out just to make sure there's no other damage that we haven't been able to see. So it was the best case in a really shitty situation. But fuck,
So
man,
lucky.
you're never ready for those moments. They just happen so quick.
They do.
So
yeah.
did the cinder block come in a kit from the Acme store?
No, I'll be suing them soon though, along with Wile E. Coyote. I'm very much looking forward to that movie, by the way. But no, it's just a bad situation. But aside from that, I mean, things have been good. We're getting the house ready for the Airbnb that I've talked about. So I've been doing small little construction projects around the house, and where I led with all the pool is up again. So the pool's up and ready for the summer.
Fun.
Productive week.
Did you get it leveled? Any adjustments on the leveling?
I'm pretty close. Like it's already pretty much full. I'm off by about 1.5 inches on one side, and you could slightly see it, but I think I did pretty good considering I'm using I was using a 9-foot piece of wood, and I was walking in circles trying to do my best to make it level that way. No
Leveling
professional
sucks.
leveling here, but it worked out pretty good.
Leveling is so hard. Your dad always makes it look easy, but I'm like, that is not easy.
But what's he like? What kind of things?
No,
does
he
level?
does it old school, like with 2x4s and levels and string and nails and stuff. Yeah, it's crazy.
That's kind of what I did. Like my technique, because it's a 18-foot pool, right? So I have I use a 10-foot board, but I measured it at 9 feet. Stick a pole right in the dead center of the circle. Drill through the 2x4, and then put it over the pole. Put some weight on the end, and just start walking in circles.
Yeah.
And pulling the board around and around and around and around, and it shows me all the ebbs and flows in the thing, and then I fill them in, and so
There you
it
go.
looks kind of crazy, but it worked quite well.
Nice.
10.
Very
Engineering.
handy.
Woot woot.
Very handy. Whenever you're done your projects over there, you can come on over here.
What do you got for me?
I don't
We have
know.
a giant
Whatever
backyard,
you have.
blank
Whatever
slate.
you
You
wanna
can do
do.
whatever you want. And
Well, I'm not
if you want to
just
dig us a
gonna come and
pool,
make it.
come do it.
I don't know if I can.
A deck. A deck would be
my
handy.
hand's still recovering from last year. Old man now.
Tan, have you been?
I've been good. I had a ditch day on Monday. We'd taken the day, or I took the day off with my daughter, and we went with her cousin to Canada's Wonderland to celebrate a grade 8 graduation. Not my daughter's, but her cousin. So we had a girls' day, kind of wander around the park, which was great because all the kids are still in school right now for the most part. There was a lot of kids still there, but it was pretty easy to get in to on rides quickly, and we had a good time. The only drawback was when you go this early in the season, none of the shows are happening, which we were not aware of, which was a little bit of BS because both girls really enjoy all the different shows that they have. So that was a little disappointing. But overall, we had a great day. The weather was cool. Weather kind of changed here in Toronto. We went from summer to now back to spring, I guess. And then
I don't hate it.
yeah,
I like it.
It's actually, I went out real quick before coming on, and it's like it's like fall out there right now. It's kind of
I
got
want to
that
open
cool
all the windows and just
breeze.
sleep with the windows open.
Oh, so nice. It's so nice. We finally got an opportunity to watch the movie Michael, which our daughter. So here's the thing. So I walked up to the community center for my yoga class, and there are kids blasting Michael Jackson in the skate park, like little kids. And I was like, what is going on? What did I miss? What is happening in the world right now where Michael Jackson is back? I didn't even realize that there was a movie. I'm kind of live under a rock. And I wasn't aware that there was a movie until my daughter was like, yeah, we have to go and watch this movie. Everybody's talking about it. So we finally got an opportunity on Monday, I think it was, to watch it. And yeah, the actor did a really great job. It was nice to hear some of the songs and kind of get to hear some of the story, which we already
not
knew.
the whole story,
Not the
but
whole story.
you know, the good parts. And but
Yeah.
but his nephew did an amazing job playing Michael. Like
I think that was what I took away from the
for sure.
movie was the acting and the similarities in his nephew, playing him. So, yeah. So I think that was pretty much it. It's back into work, and oh my gosh, summer is kicked in. It's June 18th, and it's like back to back. Last weekend we had 5 birthdays, 4 parties, and it's just back to back to back to back. This back to back. I'm exhausted already, and school hasn't even stopped for us yet.
Victor, how have you been?
I've been pretty good. It's, busy with work and stuff like that. So it's just work and soccer. I'm surprised we haven't said anything about the World Cup
I was
yet.
waiting to
Football.
talk to you, but World Cup, and then we'll talk about the Stanley Cup because that also was resolved, I think.
Yeah.
Resolved.
Resolved.
Yeah. Oh, and the big news is we
that
have
the
another
word,
championship coming our way, probably sooner rather than later. The Marlies.
Is it happening tonight? Like, are they winning right
I
now?
don't know. I think it's tonight. So they're
We'll see.
they're set to sweep for the Calder Cup, which is amazing, and no one's paying attention because there's a World Cup happening right now.
That's right.
And also, you can't watch the games.
No, yeah, it's weird.
My son's been following it as best he can, but he's like, I can't watch it anywhere.
Yeah,
He's
well,
really upset
normally
about it.
TSN would be covering junior hockey, right? But because they're
busy.
Yeah, they're busy. Every one of their channels is set to the World Cup, which sucks that the Marlies are about to win a Calder Cup for the first time in Lord knows how long. And no one's really, only the 5,000 fans that are at the game are going to know.
Yeah. Well, I will. So before we get back to Victor, we went to a thing at my son's school tonight, and one of the dads I was talking to, he's like, "Oh, I have tickets for tomorrow night's game." I'm like, "Oh yeah?" He's like, "So I really fucking hope they lose tonight." He's like, "I want to see them win here in Toronto."
Yeah.
So he's rooting for the loss because he and his son are going to go tomorrow if that's the case.
Yeah. So, Victor, do you want to talk about what just happened? What, literally half an hour ago?
My goodness. I mean, which story do we talk about, right? I mean, there's so many storylines to this game. Great storylines and horrific storylines.
Oh,
and,
man. So what Victor's not talking about, but he's talking about, is Canada won 6-0 against Qatar in a historic game, basically.
Wow.
Yeah, and before everybody starts going, it's Qatar.
Or Qatar or
Switzerland, the team that beat Bosnia, I think 4-1 today. They couldn't beat Qatar.
Yeah.
So everybody needs to settle down. And so they were up 2-0. And then there was what looked like was going to be a penalty kick, but it ended up not being a penalty kick. They got a red card. Qatar got a red card for a questionable play. It looked like a bit of a dive.
Yeah, he wasn't really
push.
touched much.
Yeah, it was definitely questionable. But regardless, they were down a man, and being down a man, they started playing a little bit more aggressive and whatnot, and so there was a horrific play on Ishmael Kone. and his leg. I think you're gonna have a hard time finding any replays.
No, I only rewound it to watch it because there was no way they're going to replay that. It was a horrific injury. Like,
it was horrific.
Sid Vicious off the top rope, like the bottom of his leg snapped, and
it was like literally dangling. Like,
Oh my God.
But what was more shocking than his leg was the expression on his face as he's looking at.
Well, he was
leg.
shocked when he looked down.
He's like, "What am I?" Like, he's looking at his leg and thinking, "What am I looking at right now?"
Yeah.
And every, like, his teammates got around him right away because they didn't want anybody to see. But some of them were broken up. They were crying and they just kept saying, "You fucking broke his leg.
Yeah.
You broke his leg.
Yeah.
What the hell did you do? You broke his leg." And the guy that did it, he was distraught as well.
Yeah.
Because
it wasn't a particularly hard foul, I didn't think, anyway. I thought,
What the hell happened?
But these guys, their legs are like tree trunks, right?
Yeah,
I mean, you know, you get hit with, it's like getting hit with a stick in hockey. It's like a tap can break somebody's wrist, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, it was horrific, and so the guy got a red card, and so then they were down 2 players, and by the time it was all said and done, it was 6-0. But Jonathan David, who was basically, he's now our best guy, you know, until Davies comes back. He was kind of back, but he was in a substitute uniform waiting. And I guess they never actually brought him in a game. But anyway, he gets a hat trick, which is like crazy. If you look at the what do they call them? Gold boot award. Whoever gets the most goals in the World Cup.
Right now, he's tied with Messi.
He's tied with Messi, and you know who's a close second is Kyle Lauren.
Larkin.
I keep wanting to say Lowry.
Yeah.
And so you look at the top scorers, and Canada's got 2 of them up there, which is
that won't last. But I mean, it's nice. It's nice to enjoy it. Yeah.
And like, you know, it's the most dominant win in the World Cup so far, and probably like right up there from a history perspective. We're gonna definitely.
First hat trick by a CONCACAF player since like the 30s or 50s or something stupid like that.
One, I think, and I think it's the first hat trick by anybody that's not European or
It was a 6-0 great result, regardless of what team. It was still a team in the World Cup, and it was Canada. So Canada, for those who may not know, it took us 2 World Cups to even score a goal in a World Cup game.
That's right.
This is the first time we've won a World Cup game, so to win it 6-0,
and it pretty much guarantees that we're going to get out of the group, right? So it would take a miracle.
And that stadium, all you saw was red and white. Like right now, downtown Vancouver is going crazy. They're partying, they're celebrating, and they're enjoying.
Yeah,
it.
I have a friend and her son went to that game tonight.
Oh, really? Yeah. She must have had a great time.
She was posting core memory posts on Instagram. Like, that's wild.
So a little jealous that they got that game, but whatever. It was still fun to watch. Right. It was still fun to watch.
So great news all around. Hopefully Ishmael recovers and his career is not over, because that leg did not look great.
Yeah.
I don't know. I wish him all the best. But all the quality of the soccer has been so good. Like, it's just all the games have been entertaining to watch. Maybe there's been 1 or 2 stinkers, but for the most part, I'd say
the Portugal game was a bit of a stinker, but anyway.
I actually didn't get a chance to watch that one, but I call him the lesser Ronaldo in the history books. But anyway, I root for Brazil. They've got the best player that never plays in the World Cup, and he's continuing that tradition. But Vinny Jr., he's doing well in his place. So we'll see. I'm really enjoying it. So
getting a little shade from the live stream.
I can confirm my neighborhood has been fairly quiet lately.
Yeah. Such bullshit. I mean, that game, they scored quickly, and I thought, oh, this is going to be a walkover for them. And then when I went to a meeting, because I was at work, and when I came back from the meeting, it was tied, and that's how the game ended. I'm like, what the fuck? How was it tied? Anyway,
See, all the other superstars are coming through. Kane gets 2 goals, Mbappe gets 2 goals. Like, everybody's scoring, but Ronaldo, he's done.
He's jet lagged. He just came. He came the furthest to play this game. Charlie from Massachusetts says Canada good at football. Further global warming proof. Yes, thank you. There, a little bit of trash talk from our American friends.
Good stuff.
My week. Basically, we watched Michael this past weekend. We celebrated my birthday, my mom's birthday, my brother's birthday with a pool party at my brother's place. That was fun. I got a gig coming up speaking of birthdays, we're playing a double 50th birthday this Saturday in Mount Albert. So that'll be fun. What
the hell is Mount Albert? You say it as if people know.
It's a local town. It's a town just outside of Holland Landing here. And we're playing.
The only person that would know where that is Jeff.
Yeah, maybe. Well, he might be staying there tonight. Who knows? Jeff's in town, by the way. Well, he's in Kingston, I believe, doing his Canada visit, his annual biannual. What do you call it when you do it like 2 or 3 times a year? It's not
triannual.
Is it triannual? Anyway, yeah, he's up here again, eating our junk food. He had a bunch of poutine in Montreal, and now I think he's in Kingston. And there was something. So last week I talked a little bit about Tim Cherry on Toronto Mike. What I forgot to mention, I buried the lead, is I had Mike ask Tim during the interview if he'll come on the produce stand, and Tim said he will. Yay! So Nice. So once we finish the reviews of the movies here, we'll get him on to talk about it, since he's the one who wrote them and he figures in pretty heavily, especially in the one we're about to review today. But so that'll be fun. And again, I can't stress enough, if you guys are enjoying this or finding this anywhere interesting, listen to Tim Cherry on Toronto Mike. It was a really interesting interview. And then the only other piece of news, for me anyway, last week we changed the soundboard. We're now using music from my old band Poise of the Worm, just so we don't get any more blocks from YouTube and Spotify and all that stuff. But I want to mention, because somebody in the DM group is Casey from our friend Casey asked where she could listen to Poise for the Worm. You can now listen on all streaming services. Poise for the Worm is on Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music. So check it out. Give us some streams. And if you like what you hear.
PFTW.
Yeah, PFTW, Poise for the Worm. The songs that we use, we open with Rightfully Mine, and we close with Inebriation. So if you like those songs, those are the ones you can check out. Anyway, let's get this thing started, shall we?
Previously on Letterkenny.
Last week, we went over a bunch of YEWniversal news, including the announcement of the new Letterkenny live tour. And then we had a preview of the new book that just published, titled Get After It. Then essays on the theme and charm of Letterkenny, with the book's editor Tobias and the DGens who contributed to the book. So if you haven't ordered your copy yet, get after it then. This week, we're back to recapping and reviewing the Don Cherry movies with part 2 of Keep Your Head Up, Kid. Matt, did you do your homework?
I did.
Tanya, did you do your homework?
Yes, sir.
Victor, did you do your homework?
It is.
All right, I did my homework.
Chorus, get to the chorus.
So let's begin with, from the first movie we learned about Don Cherry's journey through minor hockey, about how he met Rose and they married, and they finally ended up in Rochester, New York, where Don led his team to 3 championships in 4 years. And then he was hired by Doug Adam to coach the team, but not because Doug believed in him or anything. Doug just needed a scapegoat that he could fire. And so that's where we left off in the last film. So in this film, we have Don Cherry. He's a coach and a leader of this is his first time coaching. One of his personal heroes is Admiral Horatio Nelson, the commander of the British Navy. So he took a page from his book. Oh, I need to share my screen so I can show.
You got just too excited.
I did get excited.
You were tricking our listeners this whole time.
All right. So anyway, Don takes a page out of Horatio Nelson's book, and he said he's going to train his men hard but treat them fairly, and here's a little bit of proof from that.
All right, guys, I'm with you every step of the way. Let's show them we're not a bunch of meatballs. Hey, Lalonde, When I'm talking, you listen. You do that stuff later. Now we're 16 points out, but we can still make the playoffs. Gonna keep things real simple for you, all right, guys? Forwards, get it in deep, and as Fred Shiro says, arrive in ill humor. I want lots of shots, lots of traffic in front, and crash that net. Defense, real simple, out around the boards. When in doubt, out. Now, guys, practices are gonna be short but hard. I want you going full tilt, no more pacing yourselves, okay? No, guys, we can really turn this around. But remember, I was one of you guys just yesterday. You can't fool me. Try to jerk me around, I'll cut your heart out. Let's get loose out here, boys. We got a big game tonight. Come on, let's go!
Get loose out here, boys.
Matt, what do you think of Don Cherry's coaching style in that scene?
I love it. I love it. Right out of the gate, I'm already like invested. I'm like, I can't wait to see what this is going to become. I like to see this evolution of him. And it was weird. Like when watching the first part or whatever in the player world, they never really even hinted. Like I knew he became a coach, but it never even dawned on me if I were to watch it and knew nothing that that's where he was heading and that's where his trajectory went. So the fact that he just kind of fell into it and then is hitting the ground running, I love it. And I love that attitude about it. So just really excited to see where he takes us.
Sam?
Has anyone here read the book that he referenced?
Horatio Nelson. It's like a history book for like naval history, like British Navy history. So I don't think anybody here would have read. Maybe our buddy Mike in New Jersey, but I'm not sure even he would.
I want to know what the takeaway for.
So basically, his leadership style is that of a naval commander, right? And he said, everyone kind of row in the same direction. If not, we'll throw you overboard. Basically, but let's stay loose, shall we? Just stay loose. I'll make you walk the plank, but stay loose.
I love the management skill.
Yeah.
It's interesting to me though that he was hired to lose, which we'll get into later. But it's still it's still the whole what is it called the back end office and
the head office
or not the logistics of it all, but the words.
The Vancouver team owns most of the players on that team, so they kind of call the shots, and they don't care whether Rochester wins or loses as long as they develop their players properly.
Yeah.
So that's
the politics of it.
Yeah,
all. That's what I'm looking for. Yeah. Go ahead.
Awesome on the live stream says Jared's got great comedic instincts, and you can already see it. Yeah, it's kind of a fun little scene there. Victor, what do you think?
He set the tone.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe Ted Lasso was hired to lose.
Right.
If so you could basically thank Ted Lasso's existence to Don Cherry.
Oh, maybe
it's the way I connect.
Maybe they thought they'd steal from this unknown Canadian movie.
That's right.
That's true.
All right, moving on. Don's coaching was instinctual from his 18 years in the minors. He knew what to do and what not to do. He could make adjustments on the fly and treat the players the way he wanted to be treated, but he always let them know who was in charge. The team played a simple, tough game, and the team started to turn things around and winning games. Cut to a scene on the team bus. Don is given ballots for the All-Star team, and he notices no one on the team voted for a coach. A player tells him it's because they weren't allowed to vote for their own coach, so they didn't vote for any coach. This showed him just how much his team loved him. So cut to the next scene, and it's the final game of the season. If they win this game, they make the playoffs. Doug Adam walks into the dressing room with a request from their NHL parent team.
Vancouver wants you to play Aubrey and net tonight instead of Zimmerman.
Aubrey hasn't played in a month. We had a shot at the playoffs, and now you want him to play? Oh, I get it. What Aubrey's got in his contract, he's got to play a certain amount of games, right?
None of your business. He plays. And you're short a man tonight? I want you to dress Mason.
All right, I'll dress Mason, but that rookie's staying on the bench.
If you want to keep on being a coach, you better decide whose team you're on.
Hey, I'll play to win. I'm no company man. And Zimmerman plays.
We cut to Zimmerman after the shoot-around, nursing a broken thumb thanks to a high shot taken by the other Vancouver player, thus forcing Don to start Vancouver's goalie. This enrages Don. Despite outshooting the other team in the third period 16-3, they go on to lose by 1 goal. At the end of that season, Doug Adam informs Don that they're making a personnel change in his department. In other words, he's been fired. Don, now unemployed, gets scolded by Rose for refusing to go to the NHL draft meetings to look for a job. Don refuses to beg for work. It's humiliating.
It's not begging. That's how things work.
I won't go there and be a nobody, Rose.
Right. Everybody else does it, but not you, right? You're too proud. Pride doesn't put food on the table. Pride doesn't put Timothy or Cindy in college. But who needs money if you've got your pride, right?
That's right.
You disappoint me.
Seem to be doing a lot of that lately.
Yeah, let's actually, I forgot to go through those last 2 scenes. Matt, what are you thinking so far?
Yeah, it's stubbornness, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I feel like, what's the analogy you guys kept using in the last one? Where
The football, Lucy and Charlie Brown with a football?
Yeah, like...
Except here, I think the more appropriate analogy is that meme you see with the guy riding the bicycle, but then he puts a bar in his own spokes and causes his bicycle to fall, because a lot of this is Don's own doing, right?
Yeah, 100%. And it's just ridiculous. And, in the fact that, like, when he went into this, he knew that was his job. Like, they didn't hide it at all. They're like, coaches are hired to be fired, right? Like, he knew that was the expectation. So, I don't think he's got anything to lose. He did a great job with the team, and to then go and, well, fuck them, I'm going to just do nothing. I don't know. It's hard to respect that choice, but obviously it pans out. It's a tough one, man.
Yeah. I understand that first scene because he's coach and he just wants to win. That first scene, like, that's not him shooting himself in the foot. That's him being competitive and doing what he was hired to do. But this one here, refusing to go somewhere where people go to look for work, and he's not going to do it because he's too proud, is kind of bullshit. And Rose has the point, like, is complete 100% right. Your pride isn't going to put food on the table or put our kids through.
And she's had his back the whole time on everything and been right and spot on. So I don't know. I think she's almost too easy on him. With just the single comment, but she also knows him and he'll do what he's going to do.
Yeah. Tan, what did you think?
I was confused as to whether there was like an underlying story or something there, because the management coming in and saying you got to put this goalie in, and then a scene later the goalie, because he didn't want to put him in, the goalie that he did put in got hurt. Was that because it was set up to be hurt?
What they allude to, they don't say it because it's kind of hard to do this on purpose, because before that scene, Don is in the locker room telling the players, okay, we're going to do a shoot around or whatever, practice, keep the shots down.
Yeah.
And then what we hear is he broke his thumb because it's stopping a high shot. And the person who took the high shot was the other player that Doug Adam wanted him to start, the other rookie. So there was 2 players that were owned by Vancouver that Doug asked Don to put in. And Don refused to play the goalie. He said he'd put the other one in, but he would sit on the bench. He wouldn't play him. That's the player who took the high shot and broke the goalie's thumb. Now, that's impossible to do on purpose. Like, that's a fluke.
Okay.
But they make it sound like that's why Don looks so irate after, is Doug Adam got his way, and he got his way because his player did the damage. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I just it almost kind of had this undertone that he got hurt, not because of a decision Don made, but because it was set up for that player to get hurt or something in some way.
It's kind of hard to do that on purpose,
sure.
But the fact that he took, the fact that he took high shots when Don clearly told the players not to take high shots, and it was the player that Doug Adam wanted him to play, made him even more pissed off, right?
Mm-hmm.
Victor, what did you think?
Yeah, that first scene, I don't know how, maybe it's true if that happened, if it happened that way, it's pretty hockey gods kind of a thing.
Right. Yeah.
But that second scene, he's just a complete douchebag. And that's the other one where, don't let facts stand in the way of a good story, because I feel like the way that happened in real life maybe would have been a little more contentious, with Rose telling him don't be a douchebag, and like maybe she wouldn't have just walked out of the room but stayed and said, listen, I've been putting up with your nonsense for so long, and now you're not going to go and get a job and put food on our table. Like, what the hell is wrong with you? Like, it ends up working out, but in the moment, I feel like she would have been a little more confrontational with him about that.
Yeah.
Or pointing out, like, wasn't it 2 years that you were out of hockey just because of your stubbornness? Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, but he doesn't learn. He doesn't learn. But he does get a job. So, Victor, you're wrong. He gets a job because we cut to Don.
I'm wondering, sorry to pause you there for a second. I'm wondering if he ever saw it in himself. Like, did he ever have interviews where he's like, yeah, that was a bit dumb?
Yeah, probably. I think he's the kind of guy who's like, yeah, I was an idiot, but I did what I thought was right. And probably would have done it the same way again, because that's how stubborn he was, right? So we cut to Don painting the outside of a house for $2 an hour, saying he was glad to get it. And then one day, coming home after his shift, he gets a call from Bob Clark, not Bobby Clark. Turns out Vancouver lost millions on Rochester and had to suspend the franchise. So Clark bought the team and asked Don if he'll be the coach. Don accepts without inquiring about salary or anything. He knows Clark will be fair. Clark offers him $15,000 a year. Don accepts. Rose pushes Don to ask him about the GM. Clark tells him he doesn't have one yet, so Rose suggests that Don be the GM as well, and Clark agrees, of course, for the same money. So he just saved Clark another probably $15,000.
Can you explain this to me for a second? So I got a little confused. So the team went under, and then he bought the team.
Yeah.
Then I know you're about to explain that then he had to then go and recruit all the players. So what happened to all the players?
So most of the players would have been owned by Vancouver. So the way it works in the AHL or the junior leagues, if you have a professional franchise, if you have an affiliation with a professional franchise, you've got their rookie players or their players that aren't quite ready for
like the farm team.
The farm team. So Rochester was Vancouver's farm team, right?
Oh,
but because Vancouver lost a bunch of money with Rochester, they said, you know what, we don't want you as our farm team anymore, and they suspended the franchise or whatever. So Clark bought them from Vancouver. But this means now they're an independent team without.
That's why he keeps saying no affiliation NHL.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. So that makes it harder, right? Because at least the AHL teams that have affiliations, they have the good players who are just one step away from being in the pros, right?
Yeah.
The ones that are
some of them.
The ones who are unaffiliated, they're kind of picking from the scrap heap, and that's So when we're going to see, that's where Don is right now.
Thank you. Now this all makes a lot more sense.
The teams that actually know how to run a franchise like a real franchise and not a Mickey Mouse organization. As an example, our farm team, the Toronto's farm team, is about to win the Calder Cup, which is the championship of the farm system.
They lost.
However, there's very few players on that team that will ever see the NHL.
Right.
So
they're just a good team, well-built team. Yeah. Or maybe well coached, who knows? So, all right. So Don has to get to work scouting. NHL training camps have already started, and he needs players for his team. As since they're an independent team with no NHL affiliation, he needs to rely on the players being cut from NHL training camps. He goes to the Rangers training camp in Peterborough, where he meets Dennis Ball from the Rangers organization. His plan was to get a couple of skilled players and surround them with the toughest guys in the league. Does that sound familiar?
Heard that one before.
Jim.
Right? So Don sets his sights on one specific player named Bob Battleship Kelly. Turns out Battleship is thinking of changing careers and becoming a boxer. He's Don's kind of guy, never lost a fight on the ice. Unfortunately, Kelly has been promised to Baltimore. Ball tells Don he'll give him a call if they cut any promising players. So with less than a month away from the start of the season and Don still doesn't have any players for the team, Clark's getting nervous and keeps calling Don at home. Don refuses to sign guys until the end of the NHL training camp. He doesn't want to settle for bottom-of-the-barrel players. At Boston Bruins training camp, Don runs into their GM, Harry Sinden, played by Canadian actor Ian Tracy, who's known for Da Vinci's Inquest, Heartland, Virgin River, and so many others. He's a veteran Canadian actor. Anyway, Sinden congratulates Don on his new gig at Rochester. Harry offers Don some of his guys who are about to be cut. He seems to like what Don is doing. Cut to Don finally in Clark's office. Clark's getting nervous. He still doesn't have a full team. Don assures Clark he knows what he's doing. Next scene, Ball from the Rangers calls Don with some of his cuts, and even better news. Baltimore won't give Battleship Kelly his $500 bonus, so he's available if Rochester is willing to pay, and Don agrees. He got his guy. Now we cut to Don's addressing his new team in the dressing room.
All right, guys, listen up. Hey, listen up. All right, guys, here's how it is. Now, it's like we're on Admiral Nelson's ship out there all together. And to make the ship work, everybody's got to pull their weight. Oh, hey, Battleship, how you doing? Have a seat. All right, now I'm gonna tell you something, guys. I'll tell you one time, okay? If you don't want to pay the price to win, then you'll be thrown overboard some dark, lonely night. All right? All right? All right, let's have a good hard practice out there, boys.
Not exactly a rousing speech. Anyway, before we get to what you thought of this scene, this might be a bit of a mind blow for Awesome, who's probably seen this movie a million times. The actor who plays Battleship Kelly, none other than Sean Skeen, a stuntman, and of course, the director, one of the directors for Shoresy and I Killed the Bear.
Skeen Brothers.
Really?
Yep. So maybe this is where Jared meets him for the first time, or who knows? Maybe they knew each other from before. But the guy who plays Battleship is the future co-director of both Shoresy and the new I Killed Bear.
Well, it makes sense. He was very familiar with the story already when they made Shoresy.
The roots are just starting to really present themselves.
Right?
Really are, yeah.
And the funny thing is,
this is an origins tale.
Yeah. The funny thing is, IMDb has messed up the credits. They say Sean Skeen was the one playing Ball, the GM from the Rangers. It's clearly not him because he's like an older, rounder guy, and the actor who played Kelly was this other. Anyway, they switched the actor's name, so I had to look this up. Oh, Awesome says she didn't know that. Damn it. Okay, I thought I got you on that one. Anyway, but yeah, when I saw him, like, oh my god, that's Sean Skeen, and sure enough, yeah, there's yet another connection to Shoresy. So anyway, Victor, we'll start with you. What did you think of Don's speech there to hype up his team?
Yeah, well, I mean, it was a combination speech and entry, right?
Yeah.
So it was kind of, you had that backdrop to it. Yeah, you know what? I mean, I think he's trying to he's kind of consistent with that other introduction we got of him on the ice. So he's consistent. But I think the players are kind of still trying to kind of feel out what to do with it. You know what I mean? Like they're okay. I think it's good, right? Because like he's got their attention. He's definitely got their attention. They're not, even that, like what I was waiting, that scene on the ice earlier where that guy was taking a shot while he was talking and said, "Hey, stop that." Yeah. I thought, oh, he's going to do it again, and then he's going to make an example out of him or something like that. But no, he didn't take the shot again, right? He was actually, that was good enough.
Yeah. The players are listening to him, but they're not they're probably not necessarily getting inspired by him yet.
Yeah, exactly. So, but he seems to be doing the right things, right? Because it's definitely, as we're going to see, it turns the team around.
What did you think, Ted?
I love that $500 as the bonus.
Yeah, but Baltimore wouldn't pay. I mean, when you're talking about Cherry being happy making $15,000 a year, a $500 bonus sounds pretty good, I guess.
Yeah. And I love how excited he was. But yeah, balls of steel that he waited that long to pull the whole team together. And yeah, crazy.
Matt, any thoughts?
I mean, I like what's going on. Like, respect and loyalty is earned. So like that whole shot when he's talking kind of thing, they're still feeling him out. The whole team's feeling each other out. And then the locker room scene, when Battlefield enters, you can just see the look on everyone's face. Like it's like that star walks in.
Battleship, not Battlefield.
What did I
You
say?
said Battlefield. It's like
Battlefield,
Daniel's
right?
Black Web from a couple of weeks ago.
Whatever. Oh, listen, I'm learning. Okay, this is an education course for me too. Okay,
Sure.
But I like how they all kind of like, oh shit, it's him, and he just walks in and he continues. Oh, hey, Battlefield, like a star. No, Battleship.
Battlefield.
You're
like
killing
the game.
Victor.
Let's do it.
Like the fucking game here.
Yeah.
Anyways, move
Victor's
on. I'm going nowhere.
All
I'm
right,
going nowhere.
no problem. Unfortunately, Don's speech wasn't inspiring enough. Rochester starts their season winless after 5 games. And then we meet Blue for the first time. Now, this is notable because besides the littlest hobo, Blue is arguably the most famous dog in Canada.
I was waiting for Blue the whole time.
Right?
There he is.
Yeah, there he is.
What dog is that?
Ubu's up there, right? Like Ubu's maybe number 3.
What the hell is an ubu?
Yeah, sit, Ubu, sit. Good dog.
Oh,
Yeah.
boo boo. I thought you said ubu.
No,
I was like, what's
it's
an
ubu.
ubu? It's not like
What's an ubu?
Well, was that Canadian or was that anyway?
It's not an ubu.
So Blue is
Sit boo boo. Sit boo boo.
is
sit.
a
Not ubu.
was it a French Terrier Bulldog or something like that? Anyway,
I think that's 1010.
What? Okay, we're moving on to Blue, or we're talking about Blue now.
So what is that dog?
It's a bulldog, but it's like a special kind of bulldog, like French Terrier Bulldog.
It
or
looks like
something
it's
that.
smiling.
Yeah, well, it's a very distinctive looking dog, and Don Cherry has had a couple of different ones. And Tim actually in his interview with Mike talks about how he wanted a dog, like Rose always had like these little like toy dogs, and he wanted one that was a little more like that, and that's the one he got.
Are they aggressive, those ones?
That
breed?
I don't think so.
I'm gonna have to do deep research.
Just do some research. Anyway, Don Cherry and Blue were inseparable as a team. Don called Blue the second love of his life, presumably after Rose. Not hockey, but who knows. After an episode of wrestling an old shoot-up puck out of Blue's mouth, Don gets inspired, and he uses a shoot-up puck to motivate his team to do the same on the ice. Blue is a bull terrier. Thank you. That's what it was. Be tenacious. He motivates his team to be tenacious. On the bus en route to the game, Don takes Battleship aside and gives him his own pep talk. Cut to the game, and Battleship challenges the toughest guy in the league to fight and reduces him to a crumpled up, bloody mess on the ice. The hostile at home fans aren't happy. Don encourages Battleship to raise his arm in victory, further angering the home crowd. After the fight, Rochester's opponents begin to look at him differently. Don calls it the Rochester flu. See another tie-in, not to Shoresy, but to Letterkenny, the native flu, Rochester flu.
Yeah.
After the game, on the team bus back home, Don pulls Battleship aside for more words of wisdom.
Hey, Bob. I didn't want Battleship getting stuck in the same trap I did, playing the heavy till nobody saw you any other way.
Right now, Battleship, when you get out there tonight, I'd really like you to start.
Yeah, Coach, I know my role.
I know you do. Let me finish. Now look, we both know you've been floating around the minors now for a little while, and you start to get the idea you're a confirmed minor leaguer. I've been there. But boy, you gotta start putting the puck in the net. You're the toughest guy in the league. You use that. You don't gotta be fighting guys all the time. You just intimidate and make some room for yourself in front of the net. But you start scoring left, right, and center. Now, a tough guy that can score, that's what the NHL wants. Listen to me, all right, Battleship? You'll make it to the show.
Okay, Grapes, I will.
Cut to the next game, and Battleship standing in front of the opponent's net. No one can move him, and he scores easily. Rochester ends up making the playoffs. Clark is pleased. He expected to lose money that season. They ended up making money, and Battleship ended up making the NHL, as Don had promised. So now that Battleship's gone, all the other teams are going to be gunning for them. So Don says they'll just have to find someone else who's as tough. Next year in Rochester, we're introduced to the newest tough guy, John Wensink. Over 562 penalty minutes in the Quebec Major Junior League. Only problem with John is he's not much of a skater, and they show him falling a bunch of times during practice. Don admits that John will be a bit of a project. Cut to a dinner at the Cherry House, Don giving Wensink some fighting pointers before dinner and Rose scolding them for talking shop at the table. And then we cut back to the rink. Don is coaching John one-on-one. He's showing John that if he can stand in front of the net and screen the goalie, he may take some punishment, but if he can do it without losing his cool, he'll get plenty of scoring opportunities. During this coaching, though, Don recognizes some of the traits he got from being coached by Eddie Shore, constantly telling Don to bend his knees. Did anyone else get that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Loved it.
So
I loved his facial, he did
froze.
such a good job when he was like,
before he told him to bend his knees, he stopped and he realized what he was about to say, and then he said, "Bend your knees." And
great acting.
You know what I took from this scene more than anything, and tell me if you're on the same page at all. I got Doug Glatt vibes from this whole. So Doug Glatt from the movie Goon, right? So you remember the movie Goon?
Yeah.
Guy could barely skate, but he was an enforcer. They brought him onto the team to be the tough guy.
Yeah.
Had to work. He was a bit of a project, and it really felt like Doug Glatt was built off of somebody like John Wensink, if not John Wensink.
Well, coincidentally, the actor who
thing.
played John Wensink, I believe, was also in Goon.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, but not the main character, but I think he played a part. But yes, I agree.
Yeah. All right. That's the connection I made on that part. I'm like, it felt very, very much Doug Glatt.
Now in the next scene, we got a game, and John is doing exactly what Don told him, standing in front of the net, screening the goalie and taking punishment, but not moving. And he ends up scoring on an easy tip in. The team goes on to finish the season in first place overall, and Don even won AHL Coach of the Year. Don ends up going to the next NHL meetings, and during a dinner with Harry Sinden offers him the job to coach the Boston Bruins. Instead of accepting this right away, Don says he needs to talk it over with Rose first. And cut to that evening in his motel room. He's on the phone with Rose. Don isn't sure he should take the job. He's got a good thing going with Rochester. Rose reminds him that it's the NHL. She won't tell him what to do, but she asks Don if he's ready for Boston, and then Don replies, "The question is Boston ready for Don?" Tim and Cindy overhear the news, and Tim is excited to meet Bobby Orr, and then Don realizes so is he. I love that little thing that he did there too. It's like, oh yeah, come to think of it, I want to meet Bobby Orr too. Cut to the next scene, and it's the press conference with Sinden announcing the new Boston Bruins head coach, Don Cherry.
Don, you started out coaching a high school team.
Oh, high school.
Do you feel ready for the NHL?
I was coach of the year in the AHL last year. You know that, right? Down in Rochester.
If I didn't think he was ready, I wouldn't have hired him.
Don, what kind of team do you like?
I like a tough team.
So are the big bad Bruins tough enough?
Oh, we will be. You watch, we'll be tough.
Last year, the Bruins were 2 wins away from the Cup, and the team let the coach go. What are your expectations?
Every team has the
Win the
expectation.
Stanley Cup. Geez, what's the matter? You guys wouldn't mind another one of those, would you?
Hey? See why we got this guy?
Cut to Don and Tim walking the arena halls in Boston's training camp. Tim sees Bobby Orr and is starstruck. Don introduces his son to Bobby Orr, played by Jerry McWhinney. He had no other credits. Bobby tells Tim he can call him Bobby, but Bobby calls him Mr. Orr, which pleases Don. During the practice, we get a voiceover of Don talking about coaching in the NHL. Now he has Phil Esposito, who was at the time, in Don's opinion, the greatest goal scorer in the history of hockey, and Bobby Orr, who's the greatest player to ever play the game. But the season didn't start too well. Don says NHLers are different. Some of them were lazy. They didn't work hard, had big heads, but not Bobby Orr. He ended up leading the league with 135 points, the only defenseman in history to ever do that. Next scene, we see Rose working on her scrapbook of media clippings about Don. These aren't so good due to the team struggles. Tim comes home from hockey limping. She asks him what happened, but he can't answer. He must have gotten hurt during the game. Don comes in and he complains to Rose that the Bruins aren't playing his style of hockey. They take long shifts and they don't back check. But in the last 5 years, the team's been at the Cup Finals 3 times and won twice. He doesn't feel like he can make the necessary changes. Rose reminds him something his father would say. It's better being shot for being a wolf than being shot for being a lamb. But Don still isn't sure he should rock that boat. Cut to the next practice. The players are skating around leisurely, talking about their next round of golf. Don tries to give them some advice, but one of the players just tells him, "Don't sweat it. When the bell rings, they'll be there." Well, the next scene, Don and Sinden are licking their wounds after a first-round playoff loss after going to the Cup final the previous year. Don offers Harry an out. He offers to walk away from his contract. Harry won't hear of it. Don just has to start winning. He doesn't care how he does it. Don promises he won't get fooled again, and Sinden says he wants the guy who was coach of the year in Rochester. So Don, I can't read what I wrote here. Anyway, he wants he wants teams to cringe when they play in Boston. He wants them to be mean. Harry offers to shake things up a little. Cut to year 2 in Boston. Don is at home reading his naval history book when he gets a call from Sinden. He just traded Phil Esposito and Carol Vadnais to New York for defenseman Brad Park and center Jean Rattel. Don considered this the biggest trade in NHL history. Sinden tells Don to tell Esposito right away before he hears about it from someone else or on the news. So Don and Bobby Orr show up at Phil Esposito's hotel to break the news to him.
Grapes, Bobby. Hey, Phil, you got a minute? Sure, guys. Come on in.
What's up, guys?
Oh, Phil, got some news.
They fired you?
Phil, you've been traded.
Grapes, if you tell me I've been traded to New York, I'm gonna jump out that window.
Bobby, you get away from that window.
I swear I've heard Don Cherry tell this story a million times. And the actor they got for to play Phil Esposito was perfect. It looks exactly like him.
Oh, I know.
So can you explain this trade a bit more? Like,
it was a huge trade.
Yeah.
So Don Cherry was right when he said Phil Esposito was the best scorer in the NHL. Right. So basically, it's kind of like the Wayne Gretzky trade. They basically traded the top scorer in the NHL and some defensemen for a defenseman and another player, but because he traded talent for toughness.
Settle down. They got an actual good player back.
Oh yeah, Brad Park. Yeah, no,
for Wayne Gretzky. Jimmy Carson is what they got back for Wayne Gretzky.
Yeah, but I'm trying to paint a picture of what that trade might have looked like back then, right?
Sure. But Park was a legitimate piece going back.
Not only that though, they also traded him to like a division rival, like trading somebody from Boston to New York. Basically trading the best player in the league from your team to your biggest rival, right? Like you don't hear that. Teams
like
don't
moving one of our top guys in Toronto to Montreal.
Yeah, like we wouldn't do that. Out of spite, we wouldn't do that, even if we. But so yeah, it was
That's
a big
right.
deal.
We wouldn't trade Ross Courtnall for Dan Kordick. We wouldn't do that.
Yeah, but that wasn't to our rival. And
so was it done on purpose?
Yeah, it was done because Don wanted to shake things. He wanted a tougher team, and Sinden did what Don asked him to.
So was it because Don wanted it, or is it because he was told?
Well, later on, Don says he pushed for the trade because he didn't like how lazy his players were or how full of themselves they were. And he thought.
So it's strategy.
It's a strategy.
Making a point.
Making a point.
Everyone's
Exactly. Yeah, and actually,
everyone's replaceable. I just love that Sinden sent Don to to do the news.
Yeah.
The coach never ever is responsible for that.
But that might have been Sinden going, "You just made me trade our best players, so you're gonna go fucking tell him."
This one's on you, bud.
Yeah, this one's on you.
And he threw Orr under the bus there with him.
Yeah. At the next practice, Bobby Orr confronts Don and asks him if he had anything to do with Phil getting traded. And Don says, yeah, he was pushing for it. And then he calls for all the players' attention. Phil and Vat are gone. He knows how they feel, but the next guy who doesn't speed up when he blows a whistle, his ass will be gone too. So there you go. He made it his point. Yeah. No one was safe. Don looks at one of the players who was leaning over, and the player immediately straightens up as if, because if they can trade their best player in history, no one was safe. Sure enough, everyone sped up on Don's whistle. Next scene, an irate Sinden knocks on Don's door. He's not happy about an article written that makes it sound like he made the Esposito trade without consulting Don. And Don assures Sinden that it was a misunderstanding, but this doesn't seem to appease Sinden, and he storms off.
I didn't get that part.
Yeah. In his voice, Don says he doesn't think Sinden ever trusted him again after that episode. So the Esposito trade would not have been a popular trade for Boston fans, and they would have blamed Sinden because Sinden's a GM. GMs are the ones who make the trade, right?
Right.
And so Don saying that he had only heard about the trade when it happened made it sound like Don didn't know about the trade, wasn't asking for the trade, and Sinden did this without consulting him.
Which was BS.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And after that, Sinden was no longer like Don's cheerleader. Like he kept Don on because Don,
because Sinden was the whole reason Don was there in the first place.
But that, so that little piece of story there, the reason for that is to show a crack in that foundation, in that friendship.
So is that how Don had presented it, or was it just false facts?
Don
that the
insists that
newspaper had?
he didn't say that. He said he heard about the trade when it happened, or
which is not true.
The way he worded, he knew the trade happened when he heard about it. It didn't, but he didn't. It didn't mean
he told
didn't add
the
the
players.
context that he was pushing for it.
Yeah,
He told the players that he was pushing for it. Now, what one is true and what one's
The
false?
truth is, he wanted the trade to happen. What he told the reporter took it out of context. He said, "Yeah, I heard the trade when you heard it." So the reporter took
which wasn't technically a lie.
Yeah.
He just
the reporter took that as, "Oh, you didn't know that the trade was going to happen." He knew
it was
the trade was
omission
gonna
of the truth versus the
Yes.
lie.
Right.
Yeah.
But Sinden took it as you didn't have my back.
Sinden took it exactly the way it happened.
Yeah, he
Sinden
took it
was
like
completely-
anybody would have taken it.
Sinden was right. Don was wrong in that scenario. He let
Trust
Sinden
broken.
fall on the sword on that one.
So thanks to the trade, Don was sure he had the best defense pair in the NHL now with Bobby Orr and Brad Park. Only the hockey gods had other ideas. Bobby Orr suffered a season-ending knee injury. Don needed one last favor. He asked Sinden to bring up John Wensink, the tough guy who couldn't skate in Rochester. Sinden reminds Don that they do own the leading scorer in the AHL. Why not bring him up? Sinden says no, but Don begs him as a personal favor. So next scene, we see a game between the Bruins and the Canadiens, and Wensink is throwing his body around, intimidating the opposition. This seems to work because they go on only to lose 15 games all season and make the Stanley Cup Finals. Next scene is the 75-76 NHL Awards, and Don is receiving the Coach of the Year trophy. His acceptance speech left a little to be desired, though.
Thank you. You know, in the years to come, there will be many great coaches. Many great coaches win Coach of the Year. But none, I mean not a one, will be as deserving as me.
Awkward.
Jeez, tough crowd, eh? No sense of humor. My joke went over like a lead balloon. Or what?
How Keeso delivered that on the what was that guy and he'd do with his
Rodney
tie?
Dangerfield.
Yeah, it gave that kind of
No respect.
Yeah. What was it? Yeah.
That was
funny.
good.
Yeah.
That sounded like a Donald Trump speech.
Oh my
Right?
God.
Oh man.
Not to make things political, but let's end it on that one.
Well, no, that,
Just leave that.
I'm the best coach ever. Anyway,
Nobody coaches better than me.
nobody coaches better than me. Tanya, what do you think of that scene? Oh, we've lost Tanya. Matt, we'll go to you.
No, let's let Tanya have her moment here.
I've never heard your joke. I didn't know you had that.
That's good.
Should we move on? We should move on. All right.
Let's move on.
After his failed speech, Don sits beside Sinden, who asks him if everything's a joke to him. Don reminds him that he's the one who wanted the coach of Rochester. So cut to year 3 in Boston, and things are looking up for Cherry family. We see them driving a Cadillac now and moving to a newer, bigger house on a treed lot. Management always hated how close Don was with the players, but they couldn't argue with success, so Sinden did everything Don asked, even if the relationship had chilled. But the one time Sinden did ask Don to do something for him, Don gave him a hard time. Sinden wanted him to send some players down to the minors, including Mike Milbury. Don did not want to send Mike Milbury down. He'd been their best defenseman in camp, and Sinden wants their first-round draft pick to stay on the big team. Don argues that the rookie needs a year in the minors, and Milbury is the better player. Sinden pulls rank and demands that Milbury go down and the rookie stay up. The hockey gods were in Don's favor for once. By the end of the season, the Bruins won their division for the second year in a row, and that's thanks to Milbury, who was brought back up after the rookie who Sinden insisted on had broken his leg. In an interview, Don is asked how he plans to defeat the great Montreal Canadiens in the playoffs. They only had 8 losses all season. Don counters with the question, how does Montreal plan to defeat Boston? Fast forward to the Canadiens sweeping Boston to win the cup in Boston's barn. The next season, it was Boston and Montreal in the final again. With Montreal up 2-1, things got bloody, and Boston took Game 4 to tie the series up. During the next skate-around, Don was looking for something to motivate his team. So in front of his players, he starts an argument with Ralph Mellanby from the Hockey Night in Canada, accusing them of being biased against the Bruins for not showing a replay of the fight the night before. Mellanby assures Don that it's their policy not to show replays of fights. Don calls bullshit, but makes sure that his team hears this. Cut to Game 5, and another fight breaks out during the game, but this time the Montreal player wins the fight. This prompts Don to leave the bench during the game and run to the office where the CBC crew are monitoring. Don yells at an astonished Mellanby and warns him that they'd better not show a replay of that fight. Mellanby thinks Don's nuts. He asks Don why he isn't on his bench. The Bruins go on to lose that game and then lose in the next game to Montreal for their second straight cup win in Boston's barn. Rose and the kids watch at home as the Bruins lose to Montreal yet again. Tim gets up to go to bed. His limp is getting worse. Both Rose and Cindy look concerned. Then we cut to the next scene where Don, Rose, and Tim are sitting in a waiting room at the hospital. Rose mentions that Cindy got a job at a hotel in Kingston. Tim's glad she'll be gone all summer. Then he notices his nose bleeding. This alarms his parents, and they call for the doctor. Yes.
I thought we were only doing the first half of this part.
I'm getting to it right here.
Look where the timeline.
Cut to Tim laying in a hospital bed on dialysis. He says he's hungry, but the doctor comes in and informs him that he'll need to watch his diet. The doctor calls Don and Rose outside the room.
We got the test back. Timothy's kidneys have failed. He had an infection that had attacked the kidneys. He'll have to be on dialysis every other day. We can keep him alive for 5, maybe 6 years.
What about a transplant?
Well, a transplant is a possibility, but it's very risky. First, we have to wait until the bacteria that caused the kidney failure is completely out of his system.
And then?
Well, then we need to find a donor.
And that's where we're ending it.
I didn't see that scene.
Oh, all right. So maybe we should agree where to stop it next time. But.
Probably, yeah, good. I stopped at 45 minutes. There was like on the dot. There was like a good transition point.
Was there?
Yeah.
You know, Al goes over. You have to.
I do a little bit
But
more.
I was enjoying, but I didn't want to spoil things and accidentally talk about them,
right.
and now I got it spoiled for
Well,
me.
I'm ready to talk about that scene because that was pretty.
I hope Tim makes it.
Okay, well,
that was a crazy scene.
Victor, go ahead. Talk about that scene.
Well, I feel like I want to believe that it didn't quite happen that way because it would be crazy for the doctor to come out and say, start with, we can only extend his life by 5 or 6 years instead of starting with, we need to get him a transplant after the infection dies down. And then if that doesn't work out, we can only extend him to 5 or 6 years. I feel like leading with that is that would be for dramatic effect. In real life, it wouldn't. No doctor in their right mind would say that.
You might be right. Like now, I think today you're right, but who knows? This is the 70s. Like it was the Wild West, and doctors were weird.
The Wild West.
Doctors were weird back then. Like, but no, I hear you, and I mean, spoiler alert: Tim Cherry's still alive. So,
and that is the only reason why I was okay with pausing, because you know me, I cannot have like.
I want to know is he gonna? Yeah, is he gonna be
even
okay?
watching even in watching Stranger Things, I have to know that the kids are okay. Like wherever they end off on like a cliffhanger that the kids are not going to be okay, and then we have to watch until I know.
You must not have watched that extra episode. That
Wait, did you say Perfect Strangers? The show with Balki Bartokomous?
No,
I love
Stranger
Balki.
Things.
Stranger Things.
Yeah, no, I can't handle when things are in limbo and somebody might get hurt. So because I know that Mike just interviewed Tim, I was like, okay, I know that Tim is okay.
Unless he named another child Tim.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, they had a second child named him Tim.
How terrifying is that?
Yeah.
Terrifying that something can happen, and it seems just so quickly that it goes from something that is just seems that it's minor to something so life threatening.
Yeah, one moment your kid is playing on top of their treehouse or whatever the hell that is that you allowed your kids to play on, and then the next thing is they're kissing a cinder block.
That's facts. It went from a very joyous afternoon to short hell,
and everyone's running to the hospital. But it was but everything was.
When you were telling the story about your kid and what happened to him, I'm like, holy shit! Like the parallels between that and this episode are like.
But you didn't even know this part of the episode yet.
Yeah. Well, at least again in this, I know Tim's okay. At least.
Yes.
It's funny, like, so really going back to the story with Caden hurting himself, I'd had to tell that to family and friends over the last week about what happened, was like how things go down. And every single person I started with, because I know how people react. I'm like, he is okay, but here's what happened. And almost every person I said, he is okay, but here's what happened, they immediately fall to, holy shit, is he okay? I'm like, I told you that. That's how I led the story with. But because people deliver news very poorly sometimes, and they tell you stats. So, oh yeah, they're perfectly fine. Like, fuck, why couldn't you tell me that before I like freaked out inside?
My mom is my mom is the worst at delivering news. She'll start with the and it's like, okay, can we get to the part where everything's okay? Like, can just start with that.
This goes back to the doctor in this scene.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a generational thing,
worst
Victor.
possible way.
Yeah.
Yeah, information delivery is
the good news is you have 5 days to live. The bad news is I should have told you that 4 days ago.
However, there's still a chance if you do this.
Anyway, around the horn real quick. No ratings, obviously, because it's only half the episode. But what do you think so far, Matt?
I'm loving this one, actually. It's a lot of fun. The pacing's a little quicker for me. I did say that in the first part, I found there were some aspects that were a bit slow of it. The timeline was really spread out.
It was, yeah.
It was extremely spread out. Not like this one does I have some timeline issues here as well, but it's just my own lack of knowledge.
Yeah, this one I think spans maybe 2 or 3 years, whereas the first one spanned like 9 years, right?
Yeah, like a decade.
Yeah.
And it's like going all around. Like my only issue with the timelines here, because again, I don't have much familiarity with hockey in general, let alone this era. So towards the end there, when they're talking about the cups that they lost to Montreal, it's like they're like, oh, it's happening, and then they lost. Oh, like, and I know they're trying to get through content.
Yeah.
But I found it a little
There's
challenging.
another
to
tie to Shoresy, right? He loves skipping fucking the whole season and getting to the end and showing the end result. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm really enjoying his transition into the coaching world. You know, and I love one thing I was really. And again, not knowing, so two things, and maybe one of you guys can comment on this, is which part was it? Oh my God, I lost my train of thought here. Well, I appreciated the camaraderie amongst the GMs in the AHL or whatever, when he's like, I'm an independent team, I need players. And there was not even a question. It's like, let's see what we have.
Yeah.
And they threw him out there. So I thought that was really cool to see, and I like to believe that that's what it is. You know, everyone's like, oh, we're all playing this, we're all doing this thing. But then when he only seemed to coach, he went from like 0 to hero. It felt like it was like nothing. He was in the AHL doing the Amex for 2 seasons, I think it was, and then all of a sudden he got the show.
Yeah.
And prior to that, he had not had any coaching experience. And now he's been put at the helm of an original 6 team.
Yeah, but that's how it happens. That's
what I'm asking about.
Look at what's his name in Tampa. Like he was a lawyer. And then he, one thing led to another.
Yeah, but those moves generally don't work out.
Yeah, and
arguably Don Cherry works out. I mean, we can talk about what happens later, but
but then John Stewart. What the hell is his name?
Not Tortorella.
No, in Tampa Bay, the Tampa coach.
Oh, I forget his name. Yeah. He's a lawyer. He wasn't a player. Oh, yeah.
Do you think it partially during this time period? I mean, I think if I looked up, there was only 18 NHL teams opposed to 32 or so they have now. Yeah. The talent pool is less. The demand is less. So it's like a small circle that's in there. So if you're in it in any degree, you're already known. Versus in today's world, if you want to be an NHL coach, I can't imagine what you have to go through to work your way up the ranks to get to a point that someone even knows your name. So I don't know. I found it interesting. I'm not saying I don't have a disagreement about it or anything. I found it interesting how he just went from he had a great year, and yes, he was the coach of the year, which obviously puts his name, and then boom, here we're giving you an NHL team.
Yeah, and the funny thing too is the John Cooper. Yes, the previous Boston coach took the team to the finals and was fired. Now, they don't talk about why, but generally, if you're good enough to take your team to the finals, you don't lose your job.
Yeah, and then give it to a guy who's reasonably unknown and just had some success in the minors. But
so I think that's supposed to show Sinden had some impulse issues, but I think he took a lot of risks, and some paid off and others didn't. But
yeah. But no, I really enjoy this. I like that he's a leader that seems to genuinely have the players' interests at heart. Even in the movie did with Battleship there, and taking him under his wing, and even the comments about it, he was too close to his players. I love that.
Yeah.
That's the kind of leader I want to be associated with. I don't know, Victor, if that's how you treat your people or not, but take notes.
Oh, he's a tyrant. He's a tyrant.
Yeah, for sure he is. But anyways, I'm really enjoying this one. I can't wait to see how it ends.
10.
I am very much looking forward to knowing the story and making sure Tim's okay. I cannot get over the similarities between Shoresy and Don Cherry's story.
It's crazy.
It is. It every time something else is said, it's like, oh my God, the toughest guy in Letterkenny. It's like, or the tough, get a tough team, like the whole Jim. Yeah. And what was that saying again? They don't hate losing, or they don't love. What was it?
They don't hate to lose.
They don't hate to lose.
Yeah, they love winning. They don't hate to lose, or something like. Anyway, but yeah.
and you know, the team being not pushing themselves and saying, don't worry, when the bell goes, we'll be in it. And then they lost. And it's like, yeah, they don't hate to lose, and they're not pushing themselves. Like there's just so much. There's so much that is similar and that can be tied to the story of Shoresy. So I'm loving all of those moments, and definitely seeing Keeso playing Don, and
this Shoresy prequel is wild.
Yeah,
I would say it's a Shoresy prequel to the Letterkenny Shoresy, right?
Yes.
More so than the Shoresy. I think like the hockey elements of the Shoresy series, yes, 100%, like the locker room and all the speeches and all that, and you know, tough team and stuff like that. But the character of Shoresy, like even the fact that we talked about this in the past, that he named him Shore,
Eddie Shore,
you know, you know, as a beatnik, and it's not just like all the sayings, like every saying that we heard in Letterkenny, we have at some point have heard in this movie. And like even get on with it, pitter patter, like every single saying at some point. And the thing you have to remember is this is not Keeso's movie. Right. He's an actor and he's doing an incredible job, but he didn't write it. And I'm sure he wasn't ad-libbing this stuff. So again, it's like art, right? You build new art upon art, right?
Sure.
Like
wait, should we get that? We should put that on a T-shirt.
Put new art upon art.
Maybe there's a more articulated version of that.
It was very profound, Victor.
Something on the shoulders of greatness or something like that. But the point is he was clearly inspired.
Profound statement here.
Yeah. He was clearly inspired by his time in this and he spent a lot of time in this, like between this movie and then the next movie that we're going to get to eventually. You know, he spent a lot of time of his professional career with this. So
what was the did this take like a year, or how long did it take to shoot?
They were 2 years apart.
Were they?
We didn't get not part 1 and part 2. The Keep Your Head Up and Grapes of Wrath, or whatever it's called.
Okay.
Raps are great.
Grapes of Wrath. I like that way.
The Wrath of Grapes. So I'm enjoying watching this because what I like it's showing is Don Cherry's growth into what he becomes, because he gets on Hockey Night in Canada because he becomes like this charismatic speaker, and he's not there yet, right? Like the few times where we see him try to motivate his team and pump his team up, he falls flat, right? And his Coach of the Year speech falls flat. But he goes on to become Don Cherry, like the can't miss coach's corner guy, right? So he's learning, he's getting better at it, right? And I think that the movie's kind of showing that. And I believe it's Mellenby, the guy from CBC who calls him crazy here. I think he's the guy who ends up hiring Don Cherry later for the CBC.
Well, he hires him to do play-by-play.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Or color.
Yeah. So we're seeing, we're not just seeing his origins like in the game of hockey and stuff, but we're seeing how, because, the first movie that we watched, he's not much of a speaker. He's not much of a charismatic person at all. He's very polite and stuff, but he's a Canadian version of a good old boy, right? Now we're kind of seeing him step into that leadership role, but he's good with the players, but he's still not really good at being a motivator.
But time out. And this is where the jumps are kind of crazy, right?
Yeah.
Because he's super successful as a coach.
He is. Like you're right. Yeah.
Right. Like he is to keep winning and coming into the finals every year.
Right. You're right. Yeah.
He was extremely successful. So there must have been growth as a coach and a speaker and a motivator during that. We just didn't get to see it.
Yeah, but what we are seeing is like there are some comparisons between that first press conference where Doug Adams says, "Oh, like coaches are hired to be fired." Don doesn't say much there, in the second conference with when Sinden introduces him, he cracks a little joke, and you can see him more comfortable with the press gallery in that setting
and confident.
And then you see him again do the CBC interview by the ice, and again he's being more confident with the media, right? So we're seeing that growth, and it's just those motivational speeches still aren't there. Like he's very motivated by Horatio, what's his name, but the players don't know who the fuck he's talking about, and they don't care, right? All they hear is their coach saying, if you don't skate hard, I'm going to throw you overboard, right? There's no context there, right? So anyway, I'm enjoying that, and yeah, so far, and I mean, I know obviously what happens, so I won't spoil it, but it's so far so good. Anyway, we'll move on. Next week we're gonna finish with this movie, and we'll do our ratings then. I got a few listener comments. One of the big pieces of news that also happened this week, not Letterkenny or Shoresy related, was that the end of Hockey Night in Canada. Victor, do you have anything you have to say about that?
Hockey Night in Canada died when Coach's Corner was canceled. So I don't take that position as a political one. I just feel like that's what, in my childhood, Saturday nights were about Hockey Night in Canada and the first intermission. It wasn't, the two things were not mutually exclusive, right? They were one and the same. And I feel like a lot of people lost interest in terms of designating Saturday nights as a kind of a special hockey night versus other hockey nights. It just became another hockey game with pundits talking about stuff during intermissions versus what Coach's Corner was. So for me, kind of I feel like it lost a bit of its identity when Coach's Corner went away. And this is not about Don Cherry should have retired or not retire or whatever, just about Coach's Corner, right? Being a kind of a big piece of it. So for me, it's an end of an era, but I feel like that end started a few years ago.
Sure, but here's the thing. Hockey was still on CBC, which was still available to most Canadians, and now it won't be. Right now, it's only going to be available to those who pay the $20 or whatever it is a month for Rogers.
No, I agree.
So that's the thing, right?
Rogers sucks, Sportsnet sucks.
Well,
they all
suck.
suck.
Your old employer just keeps on ruining things for us.
Yeah. No, hey, listen, I agree. We paid $600 million for Skydome, and Rogers bought it for $50,000. For $50 million.
Yeah.
So yeah, and we're the ones that paid for it.
And
right?
you put a statue of your owner out there instead of players. And anyway,
that's right.
So
yeah, we can go on about Rogers, but all to say is that this wasn't just Rogers. Like, they made a deal 12 years ago.
Yeah.
Rogers did with the NHL and Bell, I think, together. They made a deal with the NHL that it was going to be a 12-year deal, and that deal happens to be running out now.
Yeah.
So they said, okay.
But the fact that Rogers kept CBC, they didn't have to, but they kept CBC in the deal because they saw the value of having it on CBC. Now they don't. So anyway, I bring this up only because I have a comment. It's a bit long, but I want to read it. It's from our buddy Jay out in Edmonton, and he has some things to say about the end of Hockey Night in Canada. Since basically the invention of the television, Hockey Night in Canada has been a weekly staple broadcast in the homes of Canadians for 60 plus years. I believe it's 75 years, if not, but anyway, at least 60 years.
I think it's 1956 that they started.
In the olden days of 2 to 3 channels and a complete lack of other attractions to sway Canadians' free time, it was a preeminent event across the country. Weekly office workers could catch it. Farmers set aside this time, potentially the only time in the week that was non-negotiable. It was the one time of the week where a plurality of Canadians were consuming the same game, hearing the same slice of life stories about players' lives and later Canadian military stories. Watching Hometown Canadiana was baked into the experience and the game. Often for us Westies, tired of the Maple Leafs, it was secondary. In what other avenue can you claim that an entire country was getting the same information at the same time and usually feeling much of the same way about it? I would argue that a lot of what makes Canada what it is that we were seeing this information and digesting it at the same time as each other. Then we could have discussions about what we all saw. Things have obviously changed in the past 20 years or so. There's a lot more things requesting our time and eyes. The weekly Canadian Hangout has diminished over time, but it was something that was available to anyone with a basic cable package, and before that, the trusty rabbit ears. The sport is built on fans and new fans. When you close that door to anyone not willing to spend $20+ a month for a cable sports package, you risk never attracting them in the first place. So when in 20 to 30 years, we are bemoaning the decline of Canada on the world-class hockey stage, this will be one of the 1,000 cuts you can point to. We made the game inaccessible to too many people, and this continues that trend. And that was Jay from Edmonton. Once again,
he's good at these,
right? Like he had that Gretzky thing, and now this. Jay,
that's all I kept thinking in my head was that Gretzky episode.
Jay, you need to write for Rick Mercer.
Right? Yeah,
like
yeah. This is a Rick Mercer rant.
Your rant is fantastic,
and I don't disagree with him. I think because it was on CBC, it was available to everyone, and now it won't be. And that's a loss. I think that's a cultural loss. With or without Don Cherry, it was still available, and it is no longer. It's not going to be.
Yeah, and already games in general are already becoming harder and harder to get your hands on. Right?
Yeah.
There's so much.
And now you got games going on freaking Netflix and Amazon and shit like that, and
they're spreading out everywhere.
I have a huge beef with the whole system. I'd be the first one to say, take my money if I could buy an NHL Ice. I forget what it's called, like NHL Ice package that gives you all the games. The problem is you can have every game in the world except for your home games.
Yeah, stupid.
So it's like, what kind of a garbage? What kind of a garbage?
You have to buy an extra
greedy system is that? Like, okay, so you want me to pay for the package, and then separately you want me to pay for sports, before when it was Bell and Rogers.
Yeah.
You had to half the games you needed to buy TSN, the other half you needed to buy Sportsnet. And so by the end of it, you're paying like hundreds of dollars to watch hockey. It's ridiculous. So I said, fuck the lot of you. I'm going to just go and just stream it through. I'd be the first one with my wallet to be happy to pay. And just because of their greed, they're getting zero.
Yeah.
And yes, you heard it. You heard it on this podcast. They're getting $0 out of me for watching hockey. Those fucking greedy bastards.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's my.
Tell us how you really feel.
Preach, brother. Preach.
Yeah, preach. No,
I remember when we got the cable, and I was talking to and yeah, it's like in this bundle is this, and in this bundle is this, and I'm like, but I want this from that and that for that. Yeah. Oh no, we separated that.
Yeah. Well, luckily you don't have to do that anymore. But now it's the streamers. You want this streamer, you want that streamer, and our buddy Jeff, he says from Maine, he's like, it's sad that no one's picking up the mantle. Hockey Night in Canada is like a visit to Graham's house. It's cozy and it's coming from someone outside looking in. Yeah, it's a big loss, and again, it's the end of an era. Like whether it's 60 years or 75 years. Yes, Austin, you're right. It was on radio before it was on television. It's a long institution that's now gone, and because it got too expensive. Like the rights are way too expensive for the public broadcaster to pay for. And so now Rogers and or Bell and or Amazon are going to pick it up.
Crazy.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on to news. Got
apologies to the kids for the swearing.
Yeah. No kids are listening to this. I'm surprised if anyone got this far into it. I'd mentioned already the Poise for the Worm is now available on all music streaming services, including Spotify, Amazon Music, and Apple Music. Check out our one and only album from back in 2001 with Bated Breath, featuring songs Rightfully Mine, which is the song in our opener, and in Inebriation, which is the song that we close with. And also, Evan Stern and Michelle Milet are going to be doing an AMA at Ask Me Anything on the Letterkenny subreddit tomorrow. That's Friday, June 19th at 3 p.m. Eastern or noon Pacific. Michelle Milet and Evan Stern will be on the Letterkenny subreddit answering your questions. So if you have anything you want to ask them, there's your opportunity. Before we go to final comments, Matt, are you ready with the patron rollout or roll call?
Yeah, I mean, of course. And we do the roll. It's a long rollout. I'm not going to read them all. I will say nothing but love to our Patreons. Right? It's something that I know for those that to contribute and support us in this channel. It's allowed us to keep broadcasting, as if that we'll use that term. It's allowed us to have experiences that we would not have normally been able to have and share those experiences back with you guys. So don't ever think for a moment that it's not appreciated. And what it's produced is a ton of memories. We've had the privilege of meeting and interacting with many of you, especially from our Patreon group, whether it's times you come onto the podcast, in-person meetings, and had some pretty glorious stories over the time. And when I think about patrons and some of the early stories, I think back to our buddy Trace. And, you know, he's been a supporter of the podcast from very early on. I can't possibly recall how early, but and he's been a big contributor, been on many episodes, then took over all of the writing for the limericks for when did that happen? Now, do you remember
early on,
when?
I can't even remember.
Yeah,
But it was,
he started writing all the limericks that I would read at the beginning of the episode.
him and Liz. Yeah.
And then Liz joined at a later. So Tate and Webb were formed, and we just appreciate it. But I still think one of my funniest stories to date from this podcast was an early we're not just speaking to 10 people moment when he went to a music festival somewhere in the States.
Yeah.
And I don't recall exactly how it went down, but I think he had a shirt or something that said produce stand, and someone called him out, and they called him Troy and said, "Hey, are you
that's right.
Troy? You're Troy from the that was on the podcast." And of course he's Trace, but and then he came back and told us, and it was a pretty funny story, and he had his little moment, and we got to realize that we were making an impact, and people were listening and knew who knew what we were doing, and just reaffirmed why we come out every week. So this week's Patreon spotlight is for Mr. Trace. It's been a while since we've interacted, sir, but nothing but love for you guys and all the patrons. We appreciate everything you do and this continued support of us.
And don't forget, he also got a specific shout out from Jared Keeso in our interview with Jared. Because of some of the writing he's done for us. Not only the limericks, but especially the limericks, but also he wrote some epic poems for like our Sudbury trip and stuff like that. And Jared called him out going, "Boy, that Trace guy, he's really good."
And he called him out on his voice.
Yeah.
He said he's got a great voice. Yeah.
So we're always listening. We have nothing but love for everyone who supports this show, but especially to our patrons. Thank you. It means the world to us, and we look forward to the continued support. So yeah.
All right. And Matt, you're up first in the lineup for final comments.
I mean, not much to say. We covered it all. This was fun. Again, I apologize, Tobias, for missing your big book release last week, your essays release.
And your cousin was there too, and he was
because
fuck Jeff.
It's because you and Jeff can't be in the same space.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's hard. I must have subconsciously knew he was coming, but you know, now he's close by, so I have good thing I don't have the Airbnb up and running yet. I might have a random stranger show up, but anyways, no, I love you, Jeff. But no, not much to say. This is fun, guys. I'm really looking forward to the rest of this series. This one, I actually got annoyed having to stop it halfway through because I didn't want to go ahead. And then Al, you spoiled it for me, but whatever. But I know that Tim's okay.
10.
But you don't know why or how he's okay.
Wait.
It's an interesting part of the story, so we'll find out next week. 10.
Yeah, looking forward to hearing the rest of the story. So this is the rest of the story of the first
movie? First series or mini series.
First movie.
And then there's another movie after that with another
second series of
yes,
with
the Wrath of the Grapes.
And we'll be doing 2 podcasts on the next
4 podcasts.
4 on the
just like this one,
4 on the next.
We just got to align on where we're going to stop from now on.
Yes, making adjustments as we go. I
Just
give it a fresh.
It's simple math. 45 minutes.
That's what I did. I did it. It exactly. 45.
No, but you didn't do the simple math plus 1.
The intro, the previously on the last movie part took up like frickin' 5 minutes of it. That's why I went further than you, I think.
It's like Godzilla -1, but this one is Shoresy +1.
Anyway, Tanya's saying her final comment.
Yeah, so I can't wait to watch the final part of the first
whatever
section.
the next
Are you sure you want to go back?
Yeah.
Tanya, can you make us an Excel sheet on this?
I could try.
We're having challenges.
I could try.
flow chart
Looking
with
forward to
swim
that. And when is that? Is that next week?
Next Thursday, I believe.
Next Thursday.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Can't wait.
Yeah.
Victor.
Matt, you forgot to mention with the patrons our trips to Sudbury, our Shoresy nights.
Oh yeah,
the book release that you missed. All of that's
No, I mentioned that twice tonight actually, but thanks for counting.
Well, in honor of a hat trick, I thought it was important to do it one more time. This is fun. And yes, so we're going to finally finish the first two-part movie next week. So I'm looking forward to that. And we're getting a lot of mileage out of this, right? So yeah,
it's all by design.
It's all by design. Exactly. So yeah, looking forward to it.
All right. Yes, guys, a lot of fun and looking forward to putting a cap on. Keep your head up, kid, and moving on to Wrath of Grapes and
the Wrath of Grapes.
Yeah, that's that'll be fun.
And thank you for all the work that you're putting in.
You're
I know I've seen you coming down and putting all the clips together and all
You're very
stuff.
welcome, Tanya.
You're doing a great job.
Yeah, and looking forward to hopefully having Tim Cherry on then to talk about these movies once we get through those. It'll be a lot of fun. All right, so I'm playing us off here, and here we go with Inebriation by Poised for the Worm. And that's all we have for this episode. Next week, we continue our coverage of the Don Cherry story with the second half of part 2. So make sure you do your homework and meet us back here. Until then, if you'd like to support the podcast, become a patron to get a shout out in all our episodes, extra content, early access to interviews, and a personal ad-free feed. Another way you can support us is by telling a friend about our podcast or write us a review. Also follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Blue Sky at protestantpod.com. Shoutouts to our bud Ian Service for the live stream and our friends at the Sonar Network. Intro and outro themes by Poised for the Worm. You can find them on all music streaming services. Thanks for joining us. Now we're going to the after party. On behalf of Tanya, Victor, Matt, and myself, thank you for listening. Have a great week.